Hi, welcome to the Christian Family Center's virtual exercise classes. We're glad to have you with us today. A couple reminders before we get started. First and foremost, please check with your healthcare provider if you haven't already before beginning an exercise program. If you feel any dizziness, chest pain, or other discomfort while you're exercising, please stop immediately. By continuing, you're assuming all risks associated with this activity. Have a wonderful workout and a blessed day.
Hi everybody, I'm Colleen and I'm happy to share a Pilates workout with you today. Just a reminder for those of you that are new to Pilates, Pilates was developing his exercises for injured dancers in New York City. And the notion was that they were injured on their feet and their ankles and their legs because they weren't working hard enough to do their motion from the core. So you're going to hear me talk a lot about core, because Pilates is all about whatever the motion is, arm or leg, being driven from the core. So we're going to start today in table pose, down on all fours, so we can really get a little bit of sense of warm up here in these core muscles. So I am taking my wrist right underneath my shoulder, my knees right underneath the hips, and I'm going to think about drawing the belly in a little bit and really work to try to keep the spine in neutral. So I'm thinking about this spot here in my lower back. I'm going to try to keep that neutral. I happen to be doing this in the morning, so I like to think like if I had a plate of like runny scrambled eggs and I put them on my lower back, could I keep them there as I stay here in table and take a couple of nice slow breaths. So just get used to the space. There's a little micro bend in the elbow. And then seeing if you can keep that lower back in neutral. We're going to leave the right arm down and bring the left arm into the chest. Take a big inhale here, and as you exhale, we're just going to roll that arm out in the shoulder joint and come on back. So the thumb is up, and I'm trying to keep everything else still as I extend in the arm. Take one more. And release. Good. Come back to a nice slow breath. Then we're going to bring the right arm in. And I'm focusing here, I'm going to inhale when the arm is in, exhale and extend. And so in Pilates, we always exhale through the exertion, through the motion part. Inhale here, exhale, extend. Thumb is up, trying to keep the spine in neutral and just rolling through the shoulder. And release. Now I'm going to take the same notion with the legs. I'm going to leave my right leg down, bring the left knee into the chest, and take a big inhale here. As I exhale, I'm going to extend out, toe down, lengthen the leg, and draw it back in. It gets a little harder to hang on to those scrambled eggs that are here on my lower back as I'm trying to work through the legs, but that's what I'm trying to do. Draw the belly in so the spine stays in neutral. One more. And release. Big inhale with the right knee into the chest, and then roll out, lengthen the leg, trying to keep the spine in neutral. One more here. Good. As you bring the knee down, let's bring the knees together. Heels and knees are together, and I'm just going to come back to the back edge of the mat, get off my wrist for a second. Shell pose, knees are together. Circle through the wrist. So again, Pilates is all about the core. We're going to come next into a forearm plank to get some heat going here. I'm going to keep my knees together and creep forward. Place my elbows right underneath my shoulders, tuck the toes under, and come up into a forearm plank. Now remember, any plank we do, and there's lots of them in Pilates, could be done from your knees. So feel free to come here to the knees. We can still engage that belly. Otherwise, we're here. I'm always going to throw out lots of options and modifications. Just use what's going to work for you. If you want to go harder here, maybe think about lifting a leg. Well, if you've done one, you do the other. I like to make the joke, if you're magic, you lift both, but no, it doesn't really work. Breathe. Good work. Draw those knees down. And we're going to make our way back to table pose. So wrist is right under the shoulder. I'm going to bring those knees back out a little bit. And now I'm going to start to manipulate the spine. So instead of being in neutral, I'm going to purposely come out of neutral by bringing my belly down and the head up, cow pose, coming into a back bend. And then the opposite direction, hollow out the belly and come into cat. I'm not really going to cue that. Just go ahead and go back and forth between the two. But remember, it seems like an easy pose for the most part, but if you really push the range of motion, you get a lot of intensity here in this back bend. If you drop that belly as low as you can get it, and then arch up as high as you can, You're going to start to really heat up at the core. Take one more, cow and then cat. Taking your gaze back as you come into the cat. And then find neutral, like we were at in the beginning. I'm going to leave my right arm down and bring the left arm into the chest again. This time I'm going to take the right leg. So left arm, right leg. Take a big inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to extend both and draw back in. So I'm really thinking engage the belly, draw the navel towards the spine to try to keep the spine in neutral. Thumb up, toe down. Let's take 2 more of that combination. Careful not to lock the right elbow here. We have a little bit of a micro bend. One more. And release it down. We'll go right to the other side. Right arm is coming into the chest and left leg is coming into the chest. Big inhale. Exhale, extend. And draw in. Every time I extend, I'm thinking about drawing the belly in, contracting. Pilates called it a scoop. Two more. Good. Bring the knees together. Again, coming back into shell pose. Circle through the wrist. I'm going to add a little upper body here. I'm going to take the arms behind me and clasp my hands. If you have the hip flexibility to get the head down, go ahead and come all the way down with your head. And then it could be this is enough of an opener for you in the shoulders, but if you could take more, you're going to see if you could lift your hands off your back just as high as they will go. Breathe. Now release the arms. I'm going to bring them out in front of you, and just like before, we're going to come into that forearm plank. This time, we're going to play a little bit with a side forearm plank. So go ahead and roll over to your right side. Now remember, anything could be done from your knees. Modification would be to come here to my knee. Second modification, put one foot in front of the other so you have a little bit more support, or the full pose is stacking your feet. Either way, we take the arm up and breathe. Now, I don't want to turn away from you, so I'm going to flip to the other side to get to the left, but you should be able to just turn over and go to the other side. I'm going to come over here. Same thing. Could be on my knee. Could be one in front of the other. Could be the feet are stacked. Breathe. And then make your way back to that forearm plank. Good. Knees are down. Come on back to table pose. Wrist is right under my shoulder and knees are right under my hips. And I'm going to take a static core stabilizer now. So right arm's going to stay. Left arm is going to come out, thumb up. Right leg is going to come back, toe down. That's where I'm going to stay, and I'm really thinking about that scrambled eggs. It's so easy to do something weird here, right? Belly's tight, spine's in neutral. Thumb up, toe down. Now, for some of us, we're like, wobble, wobble, wobble. If you feel really stable here, you might think about what's happening with your left toe. Right now, I have my left toe on the ground. Could you let go with your left toe, or maybe your whole foot? If you weren't wobbling before, that should help. Don't let the right elbow lock. 2 more breaths. Good work. Release, and we'll switch sides here. Right arm's going out with the thumb up. Left leg is going back with the toe down. And I'm thinking about the belly, making sure I'm not sagging here. I'm drawing in and up, keeping the spine in neutral. Little micro bend in my left elbow. And then it's your call. Maybe play with just getting the toenail down. Or maybe you can let go with your right toe or foot altogether. 2 more breaths. Good work. Bring the knees together as you sit back. Once again, coming into that shell pose. I'm going to take a little side body opener this time from here. So keeping your legs where they are, let's creep the upper body over to the left. It's the right upper back and side body that I'm going after, trying to keep your head as low as you can. And then if it's comfortable, maybe wrap your left arm all the way around. It's a compression pose. You're trying to get as low to the mat as you can. And return the left arm. We'll take this to the other side. Gonna creep. I'm going after right here, this left side body, upper back, putting some space between the shoulder blades. Maybe wrap that right arm around. Good work. Take it back into the center, and you guessed it, we're going back to forearm plank. Go ahead and creep up into that forearm plank. And then make your way to your right side. Remember, options, knee down, one leg in front of the other, stack, and you're up. This time, we're gonna move a little bit in the side body. So my arm is up, I'm gonna bring it down, and I'm gonna bring it as far over as I can, keeping a gaze on it, and come back up. Let's take 3 more there. Remember, you're welcome to be on your knee if you need to be. There's 1. There's 2. And there's 3. Good. Come back to forearm plank. Again, I'm going to switch sides. Moving over onto your left side. Choose a variation for your legs that you're going to be able to hold. And we take the arm up. Don't let the hips sag down, right? You're lifting way up. And then we're going to take the arm through. Make sure you keep your gaze on it so you're really twisting into that oblique. And we take 3 more. 1. 2. Last one. And return to your forearm plank. Now, from your forearm plank, take your toes out a little bit wider. Next one's nasty. Lead with your left, and we come up to full plank. Lead with your left, come back down. 2 more, left lead. 1 more. Good work. Remember, you could be on your knees. We do it again, right lead, right arm up, hup, hup, and back down. 2 more, hup, hup. Last one, hup. Hold the plank. Beautiful. Walk your hands all the way back towards your feet. And we're coming into a forward fold. I'm going to put a little bit of motion here. So my arms are really heavy. Just take it a little bit side to side, kind of a rag doll. And then bend your knees, and we rise all the way up. Now, if you've come to my Pilates class before, hopefully you're thinking, oh no, she's at the end of the mat. We know what's coming. That's that walkout. We're going to take 4 Pilates walkouts here. Starting from the edge, I take a big inhale and gaze up. Exhale, and we dive to the ground. The notion of a walkout is that I am going to walk out with my hands, just like I was on a railroad track. So my feet are here on the railroad tracks. I'm going to walk out along that track into a very narrow plank. And then maybe I'm going to come to my knees because the Pilates push-ups are hard. I'm going to spin the bicep forward and I'm going to lower down and then push back up. I'll try not to have the microphone hit the ground next time. Now listen, the thing you have to worry about, I'm not watching you, but I bet what happened for a lot of us is we get down, and when we go to get back up, we go this way. We take the upper body, and then we take the belly. Try one more and see if you can make sure that you're really doing this in one piece. You lower down, come up in one piece. Tuck your toes under, and we walk it back. So that was walkout number 1. We're gonna take 3 more, and I'm gonna take the middle 2 on one leg. You are welcome to do it again on both legs. So I'm moving over to my right leg, letting go with my left, taking a big inhale, and as I dive forward, I'm gonna come into kind of a standing split here, leg goes in the air. I'm walking out on one leg. I'm gonna take a 1-leg push-up. I'm gonna come to my knee and walk it back. Return the left leg, bend your knees and rise up. So again, if you want to stay on both legs, feel free. We've got 2 more. I'm moving to my left, lifting the right, taking a big inhale, gaze up. exhale, I'm coming into that split as I'm lifting my right leg. Walking out to a one-leg plank, taking that one-leg push-up, could be to your knee. Walk it back. Beautiful. Right leg comes down. And we rise up. All right, you have one more of those beauties. Big inhale. Exhale and dive. Walk out. 2 legs this time. Makes you very grateful that you have 2 legs. And we take 1 Pilates push-up. Trying to come up in one piece. Walk it back. And again, we'll take some free motion here in the fold. So heavy with the hands, heavy with the head, gazing back. Bend your knees, and we rise all the way up. All right, good work. I'm going to come into a little bit of a lunge set here. I'm going to take hands on my hips, and I'm going to lead with my right leg and take a very big step forward. Keeping my shoulders over the hips, I'm going to lunge down and up, making sure this front knee is behind my ankle, and then I'm going to step back. I'm going to take 3 more, exactly like that, trying to land quietly, lunging down and up, so sort of 90 degrees on both knees. And you've got 2 more. Remember, Pilates, thinking about these dancers, they were getting injured because the motion wasn't coming from the core. They weren't controlling the leg motion with the breath in the belly. 2 more. And the next time you get down into your lunge, we're going to stay here. My front knee is behind my ankle. I'm lengthening the back leg. Take your arms out, and we're going to come into an airplane arm here. And then we're going to see if we could stand up into airplane and stand all the way up into marcher. Come back into airplane. Come back into your lunge and step back. You get 2 more of those. Step forward into lunge. Draw up into airplane. Stand up into marcher. Come back to airplane. Touchdown for lunge. And push back. Last one on that side. Step forward into lunge. Come out into airplane. Up into marcher. Back into airplane. Back into lunge. And step out. Good work. I'm just going to turn around and do the same thing on the other side. So I'm going to start with my hands on my hips. And I'm just going to be stepping into the lunge. Left leg stepping in. Make sure that knee is behind my ankle. Touching down and stepping back. When I say touching down, that's the direction I'm going in. It doesn't mean that your back knee will touch. It might touch, but it might not. You have 2 more, just like that. I'm thinking about navel to spine contraction, controlling this action with the core. 1 more. Good work. Step forward into your lunge. And now I'm going to take my arms into that airplane. Stand up onto the left leg airplane. Come all the way up marcher. Come back to airplane. Come back to lunge. And step back. 2 more on that sequence. Step forward lunge. Stand up airplane. Take it up marcher. Come back to airplane. Step back to lunge and step out. Remember, wobbling and shaking are good. Last time we step forward into lunge. We come up airplane. We come up into marcher. We come back into airplane. We come back to lunge and step out of it. All right, good work. We're going to come into the middle of the mat this time. Toes and knees out wide. We're coming into plie. So I'm going to take the legs out as wide as they will go. Try to get my shoulders and my hips stacked and hold the belly tight. I'm going to take a big inhale at the top. And as I exhale, sitting down into plie. Nice slow focused motion, squeezing into the hips, lots of air. Now, the next time you get down into plie, we're going to stay there. See if you can find your inner dancer here. We're just going to take the arms out front like a beach ball. And I'm going to start with the left leg. Again, I'm going to mirror you. You're going to lift your left heel and release it down. And add the left arm out as you do it. And we'll take 10 of those. So I'm trying to be really still everywhere else in the body except for during this hip lift. There are 7 more. And 6. There's 5. 4. 3. 2. Good work. Release it down. We lengthen up. And take that moving plie. So each time I sit into the plie, I'm thinking about that navel to spine contraction. Again, Pilates calls it a scoop, as if I'm trying to push from front to back. And the next time you get down, let's go ahead and stay there. Holding that plie, gonna bring those arms in front, kind of like that big beach ball. And this time I'm gonna lift my right heel. And I'm gonna take the right arm as I lift the heel. And you've got 10. Again, I'm trying to be really still everywhere else, sinking down as low as I can in that plie. 7. 6. There's 4. 3. You got one more. Coming back to that moving plie, contraction in the belly. Now, those of you who come to my Pilates class regularly are probably already thinking it through. She did a left heel raise. Then she did a right heel raise. And I think we know what's coming next. I'm going to come all the way down, find that inner dancer here. Arms are coming forward, and we're going to lift both heels at the same time and take both arms out at the same time. And today, the magic number is 10. Little balance challenge. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. EB. Hello, quadricep. 3. Good. Hold the heels off. Bring those arms into the middle. I'm trying to keep my heels off the ground. Gaze forward. We're going to lift the arms up and come back. No heels. There are 10. You guessed it. If you see my legs shaking, it's because they are. 9. 8. Breathe. 6. 4, almost there. 3, 2, and heels are down and get out of there. Walk it off. All right, good job. We have one more short standing Pilates set, and then we'll be taking it to the mat. So I'm going to start here in the middle of the mat. Again, I'm going to mirror you. Step out to the right. Come into a squat. Step into the center. Legs are together. Come into that chair squat. And then step to your left, and we'll squat. So take a couple of these, really making sure that you engage the belly as you squat, making sure there's no sensation in the knees. It's all back, hip, quad, and glute. Slow motion, controlled by the breath. Even over both hips on every squat. Now, when we get out here to the right, we're going to stay. Just give me this slow squat down and up. Next up, I am going to come to a right side leg raise. And even though it's my right leg that's raising, it's actually the left leg that I'm going to be thinking about, because I'm going to try to rise up with the leg, but control the descent with my left. So we're going to try it. We're going to lift this leg, but it's about the left leg. Control the descent. You're fighting with gravity. There There are 5 more of those. Yippee. 5. 4. Trying to get some stillness at the top there. 3. 2. And then I'm going to come here into figure 4. Cross over at the top. If you need balance help, you're going to keep your toe down. Otherwise, you're up above the knee. I'm just going to begin to sit. Maybe bring the palms together. Breathe. All right, good work. Step out of that. We take one more round, starting to the left, back to the moving squats. I'm going to step out to the left, even over my hips, squat down and up. Come into chair and squat there. Every squat involves that belly contracting and releasing. Again, I don't want any sensation in my knees. So if I start to move in any direction that talks to the knees, I'm going to try to modify. Don't go as low. Next time we get out here to the left, let's go ahead and stay. I'm even over both hips, trying to take the same amount of weight into both legs. And I'm going to add that left leg now into a side raise, but it's the right leg doing the work. So here we go. We lift the left, control the descent with your right leg. And you've got 5. 4. 3. Good. After this last one, we come into figure 4. So I'm crossing over. Again, I could keep the toe down for balance if I need to. Otherwise, I'm above the knee, open here. And we sit, maybe palms together. And release. Good work. We're going to transition down onto the mat doing a roll down. Make sure that you leave yourself enough mat space so that you can roll down and still end up being on your mat. I'm going to lengthen the legs out in front of me and start in a seated forward fold. Now, some of us, I'm going to be coming into roll down, I know have a little bit of trouble getting all the way up. So one of the things you might think about if you're at home is taking a pillow or a rolled up blanket and putting it right here at your lower back so that you're not actually coming all the way down, and you'll have a little bit better chance of moving slowly through that range of motion. I'm going to take the arms out over the chest, and just as slowly as I can, I'm going to start to roll down. The trick is to just go so slowly that all of a sudden you're on the ground and you didn't even know it. You're trying not to let yourself fall. Control it to the very bottom, and then magically, like, oh look, there's the ground. Then on the way back up, I'm trying to avoid this kind of stuff, right? I don't want to go side to side. I don't want to put any momentum. I'm going to try to peel as slowly as I can up and over, drawing the heels down. We'll take 2 more of those, and we'll end up down. So again, just as slowly as we can. Roll-ups are pretty hard, so if you need assistance on the way back up, what I'm going to recommend is you take a leg and you use the leg, the momentum of the leg, to help you. That's going to help you to not move to the side on the way up. So if you need the help, use the leg to kick you up. We go all the way up and over, and then we take a single roll down. Good work. Bend your knees, hands are behind the head. I'm going to come into a set of Pilates-based crunches here. So I'm going to take a big inhale, and as I exhale, I'm drawing that navel towards the spine, scooping the belly, and releasing to the ground. It's actually quite different than the sort of crunch we sometimes do in a HIIT class or group fitness when we're moving quickly. Really working against gravity on the way back down. Creating at the top of the crunch what Pilates calls the C curve. And you might have guessed it, we're getting ready to come into the Pilates stomach series. There's a series of 5 exercises, all of which require the C curve. Today, we're going to take up one of them and then do a bridge and come back and do the next. So we'll be dividing up these 5 from the stomach series. The next time you're up at the top of your crunch, let's stay there. We're going to take one of your legs into tabletop, so your knee right over the hip. There's your tabletop. Extend the other leg and see if you can hover. And then we take a big inhale, and on the exhale, the exertion, we switch. And there's the first in the stomach series. So I'm trying really hard to keep my shoulder blades off the ground and the belly in. I don't want to be here with the upper body because then I'm really just getting the hips. So really trying to sit up. I call it car seat position for those of you that have children. Sitting up tall. single leg stretch. The other thing I want you to be careful about is don't come too far past tabletop when you come in. If you watch like TV Pilates, they do this kind of thing with the leg. The minute I go here, my hip flexor is no longer engaged, and so it starts to help, and it's really not what we want. We want the abdominals to really do the work. Good. Last one. We draw everything to the ground. 1 down and 4 to go. I'm going to take the arms across the body to come into a 2-leg bridge set. So ankles, knees, and hips in a line. We take a big inhale. As you exhale, push against the ground, coming into that bridge, engaging those leg muscles, and release it down. And again, we're not in any hurry here. That's one of the huge differences between Pilates and other kinds of exercises is I'm controlling that descent. I'm trying to fight with gravity all the way back down. I don't want any sensation in the knees, so if you get up to the top and you're feeling something funky in the knee, change your range of motion, don't go so high. Next time you're up, we're gonna stay there. Lengthen the arms, hold the bridge, and we just draw the arms up, over, and come back to the chest. 2 more. Last one. Then very slowly, with control, return the hips. All right, hands are back behind the head. We're going back to the stomach series. Take a couple of crunches. Big inhale. Exhale, we lift. I'm using the crunch to figure out how high can I get up into that C curve position. And once I start the next stomach series exercise, can I hold that position? Next time you're up, C curve. Let's hold it. And this time, both legs are coming into tabletop. And I'm going to take a big inhale here, and as I exhale, both legs are extending out and then coming back. So if you can keep it so that the shin stays parallel, that's what you're going to do. If that's too hard, feel free to take the legs higher as a modification. So there's the double leg stretch. Hands might stay here behind my head, or maybe I'm going to be able to take my arms around or even right up and over. Choose what's going to work, but if you need to keep your hands here in order to really keep your shoulder blades off the ground, you're better off here, no arms, shoulders high, than you are using your arms and falling back to the ground, right? So let's take 3 more. Woohoo! 1. And release. It's all coming to the ground. Good work. Arms across the chest again. I'm coming back to the bridge. This time I'm going to cross my left leg over my right, coming into a 1-leg moving bridge. So it's a big inhale, exhale, and push up. So I'm taking the arms across the body so that you don't use them to help you up. If you need them, feel free to take your elbows down and you can use your arms to help you up. It's just more of a core work if I don't use my arms. As you come up, don't let the hip do this, right? Keeping it really wide, nice straight line from left to right. And you're welcome to stay here. I'm going to go up to the next level, which would be to lengthen my left leg and still lift, trying to stay even over the hips. So I just made the left leg heavier, more for that right glute to have to lift. And then whatever you've got, we're going to take it up and hold it. So it could be leg is crossed, could be it's lengthened. If it's lengthened, we're going to drop it down to a hover and come back up and take 3 more like that. Leave this out if it's too much for you and just stay with the static hold. 2 more. And on this last one, when you get down to the hover, hold it there. Breathe. Good work. Come back to the 2-leg bridge and release it down. Good work. Heading back to the stomach series, I'm going to take both legs up now. Number 3 in the stomach series, single straight leg stretch. Leave the legs up, hands behind the head. Take a couple of slow crunches. Crunches are to measure my C curve, getting up as high as I can into that C curve position. Good. Next time you're up, we're going to stay there. Go ahead and grip one leg with your hands and drop the other leg. And then we're going to switch. So we're monitoring our difficulty by the range of motion. The lower you drop the leg, the harder it's going to be. And the higher you lift your upper body, the harder it's going to be. Now I know the arms look a little like a hamstring stretch. I am not trying to stretch my hamstring. I'm using the arms to try to lift my upper body higher for a single straight leg stretch. Good. 1 more on each side. Nice slow breath. And release it all to the ground. 3 down, 2 to go. Arms are coming across the chest. I'll take this one leg bridge on the other side. Cross your right leg over. And we come to the slow moving one leg bridge. Again, if you need your elbows, feel free to take them down. Otherwise, I'm trying to go without them so that my core muscles have to help with the lift. And then it's your call. If your left leg could take more, maybe go ahead and lengthen your right leg. Think about the range of motion on this bridge. Make sure you're getting the last 10% or so. You're not just working kind of halfway in the middle. We get all the way up to that neutral spine. All right, next time you're up, we're gonna go ahead and stay there. So it could be that you're crossed, it could be that you're lengthened. If you wanna go even harder, I'm gonna drop down to a hover and come back up. I'm trying to stay even over the hips. We've got 3 more here. Belly tight, think about your range of motion in the bridge. 3, 2, take it down, hover, and hold for 3, 2, and I'm back on both feet, and we release it down. Good work. Go ahead and take both legs up for this next one, number 4 in the stomach series. We're putting the feet what we call Pilates stance. I'm flexing the foot, heels together, toes out wide. Take the hands behind your head. Let's take a couple of crunches here. Big inhale, exhale, and we lift. Again, we're using the crunches to find that C curve position. When we get to the stomach series exercise, we're gonna try to hold that C curve. So the next time you're up, let's stay there. As high as you can, trying to get the shoulder blades off. This is the hardest one, the double straight leg stretch. So it's a big inhale here, exhale when we drop the legs. So you are monitoring your difficulty by how low you drop. What you don't want to do is drop so low that your back arches. So for most of us, if we come down here, my back is arching. I don't want that. I want my back to stay in that C curve position. Let's take 3 more. Again, kind of car seat position in your upper body. 3, 2, and last one. Good work. Draw down, arms across the chest. We come to our last bridge set. Big inhale, exhale, we lift. Release it down, 2 leg bridge. Again, think about that range of motion. Make sure you're getting to the top of the range. And the next time you're up, we're gonna stay there. Trying to keep your arms off if you can. I'm gonna alternate waving a leg. One leg's coming up and then back, and I'll switch. My hips are staying off the ground the entire time. 2 more on each leg. No elbows if you can do it. And release it down. Good work. Hands are behind the head. Our last stomach series exercise. Come back to a couple of slow crunches. Big inhale. Exhale and lift. Thinking about that navel to spine contraction. Number 5 of the 5 in stomach series is bicycle or crisscross. I'm going to demonstrate them both, and then you're just going to take your time to do whichever or a combination of them you would like to do. So the next time you're up, stay up in your seat and bring your legs into tabletop. Crisscross is slow. It's a big inhale, exhale, opposite shoulder to opposite knee, and then come back. 1 breath on each side. So really slow, dropping the legs as low as you can comfortably. The bicycle, as it might seem, is going to go into that kind of bicycle motion in the leg, but still with control, still with my shoulder blades off the ground. So kind of do a couple of crisscrosses if you want, do a couple of bicycles, whatever's going to work. You've got 10 more seconds to keep doing it, whatever it is. And then we're going to call this stomach series done in 5 seconds. And you're out. Good work. Arms are up, legs are down, nice big full body stretch. So the criticism of Pilates is it's a lot of flexion, it's a lot of folding in half. It's important when you're doing Pilates to also think about extending, and so we're going to spend our last couple minutes here on a little bit of a back bend piece. starting with a back bend from bridge. We're going to take a total of 3 back bends of choice. So I'm just going to bend my knees and bring the arms back to the side. Press back up into bridge, but this time instead of thinking about leg strength, I'm thinking about taking my spine out of neutral. I'm going to tuck my arms underneath so that the shoulder blades are coming, and I'm going to lift up out of neutral. So purposely lifting the spine in the opposite direction from all of that flexion. Lots of air. And then go ahead and release down. So again, we're going to do 3 back bends. If you like that one the best, feel free to do it 2 more times. Another pretty gentle back bend is to come into yoga's fish pose. I'm going to rise up to my forearm, and I'm placing my elbows kind of underneath the shoulders here. I'm going to lift the chest, puff up the chest, and come into a back bend here, drawing the head back. Fish pose. Good work. Slowly release. And we have 1 more back bend of choice. So you could do it again from bridge. You could do fish. If you want kind of a baby back bend, you can take the legs out, bring your arms up, and just work to lift the belly, come up off the ground. If you want to go harder, again, you can watch videos over and over again. Maybe you want to get brave. So you could take back to bridge pose leg, but the arms behind you. Maybe you're going to come up just to your head. I've got to move that cord so I don't choke myself. There we go. Maybe you're going to come up just to your head, and that's where your back bend is going to be. If you've got more, of course, you're going to rise up. Choose what's going to work for you today. 2 more breaths. And eventually make your way back to the ground. We're going to take it back into some flexion. So bring the knees into the chest and lift the upper body. And just take a little bit of a side-to-side rock here. Release the upper body, and let's draw the right leg in. Go ahead and take your left leg down. It can be bent or it can be lengthened, whatever is okay for you. And I'm just going to take this right leg and bring it right up. So I'll take a couple of restorative stretches here. Now my arms are going to bring me into a hamstring stretch. So I'm just going to draw this right leg towards me. Maybe adding some upper body weight, sort of hanging the upper body weight or thinking knee to nose, whatever's going to work for you. Be careful that you're not gripping behind the leg. Can't see you, but I know what people do a lot, and that is this, right? So we want to be here or both. We're not anywhere near the knee. Then I'm going to release my upper body down. This is my right leg, so I'm going to take my right arm up and my left arm down. I'm just going to take this right leg out towards the side. Flex the left foot if you can to really keep the left glute down. And we open into the hips, inner thigh. Bring the leg in through the center. I'm going to come to a spinal twist. So I'm going to pick it up with my left hand. And don't fight with your lower back. Just let this twist over and land wherever it lands. And then I'm going to take my right arm up. So my right leg is to the left side. And I'm going to begin to take my right arm back towards the ground. It's my shoulder blade I'm thinking about. Can I get that right shoulder blade to the ground? And then if it's comfortable on your head and neck, maybe take your gaze slightly over to the right. Spinal twist. Beautiful. Draw everything back into the center. Hug those legs in and lift the upper body into that little ball. And once again, take a little rock from side to side. That should feel good on your lower back. And then keep that left knee into the chest and go ahead and draw the right leg down. Upper body's coming down. So again, right leg could stay bent or it could be lengthened, whatever feels good. I'm going to draw this leg up and come into that hamstring stretch. So it's beginning to draw towards me. Lots of options. Again, I could hang some upper body weight, or I could try to draw knee to nose. Squeezing the knee or touching the knee is not an option. That's the only thing that's not an option. Oh, and you have to breathe, so not breathing is also not an option. Good. Release the upper body. Left hand's going to stay on the leg while the right arm comes down. Flex the right foot. And I'm going to come out to the left a little bit here, getting into that inner thigh dip. Try to keep the right glute down. Come through the center. I'm going to pick it up with the other arm coming into that spinal twist. So this left leg is now coming all the way over to the right side. Let it land where it lands. Don't fight with your lower back. Take that left arm up. And I'm going to start to lower. And again, I'm mostly thinking about the shoulder blade. Can I get that shoulder blade back towards the ground? maybe it goes there, or maybe it's just heading in that direction. If it's comfortable on your head and neck, take your gaze over towards the left and breathe. Good work. Draw it all back into the middle. Once again, draw the knees in, and we'll take a little side-to-side rock. I like to end Pilates where we began. We began in table pose, so I'm just going to rock a little bit from side to side, and eventually rock all the way over into that table pose with my wrist right under my shoulder and my knees right under my hips. Again, thinking flexion and extension, we're going to come to that moving cat-cow. Belly hangs down, get some extension in there because we need a lot of flexion. And then release to cat. Take one more. Release to cat. And then find neutral. So again, I'm remembering my scrambled legs on my lower back, trying to just keep them in place. Little micro bend in the elbow. Maybe close your eyes for our last couple of breaths. Closing your eyes will help you think about that neutral spine because it kind of draws the thought in. From here, I'm going to open my eyes and tuck my toes under and make my way back to a forward fold. Lengthening and drawing the upper body back towards the lower body. Eventually bend your knees and slowly rise all the way up into standing. We'll close out today with 2 big breaths. Take a big inhale and exhale down. Take one more big breath. Exhale. Thanks so much for logging in and working with us today. I do hope to see you all as soon as possible. Stay safe.